Hi, Penelope. My name's Sarah. I am a social worker and I will be working with you today regarding your discharge planning from the hospital.
Okay,
Congratulations on your new baby.
thank you.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that anything we talk about in here is completely confidential. There's a few things that um, could make it so the things that would have to be talked about, things like if you're in danger or if there's an immediate threat or anything like that. But overall, for the vast majority, everything's confidential here. It's going to be kept between you and me, and anything that you share with me, I'll be able to use that to help you with your discharge planning process.
Okay, but what do you mean about danger or a threat?
So,
Can you explain more about that?
absolutely. So basically, what that means is that there's a few things that if a patient, not just you, right, anybody, if they did mention to a social worker, we're mandated reporters, so we'd have to report it. And that would be something like if you were thinking about harming yourself or harming somebody else, or if you told me that you were afraid that someone was going to harm you. And, while I don't anticipate anything like that happening during our session, I don't know, right? So it's something that I wanted to tell you up front, just so you know that anything other than that would be kept confidential between us.
Okay, but my main concern is also my husband who's in the military, and I have some concerns about him. So I just want to make sure that anything we talk about that involves my feelings about what he's going through are also going to be kept confidential.
Yes, absolutely. So that is a great example of something that would be confidential. How you're feeling, what you're going through, what your immediate struggles are. All of that is your confidential information, and that won't be shared with anyone. That has nothing to do with your safety or the safety of anyone else, so there's no need to report something like that.
Okay, but I'm talking about his confidentiality as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes. He would be covered in that as well.
I understand.
Okay. And if any other questions arise throughout the session, you can feel free to stop me and let me know. If you want me to, elaborate on anything else, please feel free to do that.
I got it.
Okay. So as far as discharge planning goes, we can start to look at some ways that you can be supported in the community after you leave the hospital with your baby today.
All right. Well, I've been through a lot here. I had a C-section and my baby's premature. And so the thought of being at home and alone with the baby is very overwhelming to me.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that this was not an easy experience for you. Um, Having a premature baby must be really scary. You must be feeling really alone.
Have you ever been through something like that? Do you understand what it's like to come home with a premature baby?
I certainly understand that it must be really hard for you, but for the purposes of discharge planning, we can use all of our energy to focus on what you're going through.
Right. Yeah, it's just that here I am, a new mom, and I'm coming home with this very tiny baby, and it's my first, so I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't have any support around me. Everyone I know, friends, work full time and just don't have any excess time to help me out. I don't have any family nearby. My husband's been deployed and he's thousands of miles away. So I just feel very alone
Okay.
and not sure how I can manage.
So, what I'm hearing from what you're saying is that you are really in need of some good support when you get home. And there are some community resources that I definitely want to connect you with if you're open to that. Because, having a baby is hard for everyone, and having a premature baby, just makes it that much harder and scarier. I definitely feel for what you're going through, and I want to make sure that you have good support when you leave.
I think the keeping my concerns about my husband a secret is really important to me. So how would I know that a support group within the community won't get back to his superiors or somebody on the base?
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely understand how that would be a concern for you, because if you're sharing in a group, I'm hearing that maybe you don't necessarily feel like you could trust those people.
Is that a valid concern, to be worried that they're going to just blab my business all over the place and that it'll get back and fall on my husband?
So with these type of community resources, there's always going to be a risk, right? Because there are people in there. But these types of support groups are all people who are going through a similar situation that you are. And the expectation would be that they would be kept confidential, and that things that are shared in the group would be confidential. And maybe it would take a little bit of time where you may have to go and try it out and see how it goes, see how it feels, and see if it's a situation that you feel comfortable sharing in. And you don't have to share anything right away. You don't have to do that. And maybe some one-on-one support would be really good too, because with one-on-one support with a therapist or with a social worker, you have that extra layer of protection with confidentiality.
Except if I'm going to be danger or harm to someone else or myself.
Correct. And that is from a legal standpoint, and it's not something that I expect that you would ever have to deal with, but it's something that you should be aware of.
Okay, I appreciate that. But I think, coming home with the baby, the nurses here have spoken about how to change a diaper or, deal with baby crying or listening to what those crying sounds might mean. But I'm so overwhelmed that the baby's just going to keep me up, and then I'm not going to be able to get any sleep, and it's just going to be too much.
Yeah, sleep can definitely be a huge factor for anyone, but especially for a new mom. And that's something that we can also work with some resources to get you some help, possibly someone who could come in and help you at night so you could get some sleep. Or, when the baby gets a little bit older, we can look into resources as far as daycare, things like that, so you can get a break during the day.
And the baby will be safe.
Yes, for sure. Everything I'm hearing from you makes me feel really good about, how much you care about your baby and how important it is to you to keep your baby and your husband and your family safe. And these are amazing qualities that you have, and I'm really happy to be able to work with you on getting you the support that you need so you can feel safe and get some sleep and be the mom that you want to be.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot, and I'm healing myself, so I just want to make sure that I get what I need. And just the thought of shopping for meals with this newborn baby and just taking care of my basic needs, I just don't know how I can do it on my own.
Absolutely, and that's what we're here for. We're here to connect you with some of these community resources that you can hopefully utilize and be able to get some help with those kinds of things.
All right. That sounds good.
I really appreciate you sharing all that information with me. I'm wondering if you want to talk any more about the situation with your husband.
Yeah, he's deployed overseas, and it's a dangerous situation for him over there. And I really am concerned about him coming home with a lot of mental damage, and that he's going to be so overwhelmed by his own mental state that he won't have enough to really give to the baby and bonding with the baby, you know, just learning how to be a dad. And that's something that feels very real to me right now.
Yeah. I'm hearing again a lot of overwhelm and a lot of not being sure, you know, if you're going to be able to rise to the role of being the parents that you want to be. But I want to assure you again that with some of these community resources and some support, that you will be able to rise to this occasion, because you care so much about your baby and about your husband, and you're going to be able to use that to be able to move forward with the things that you need to do.
And thank you for giving me that boost of confidence. I really feel like I need it right now.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it's so new, and I feel very insecure about my new role as a mom.
Yeah, very understandable. You're in a tough spot for sure, and that's why I definitely want to make sure that we connect you with as many resources as we can, so that you can take some of that overwhelm and find your way to confidence as a new mom. And when your husband gets back, he can also connect with some community resources as well. There's a lot of resources out there for veterans or for active military that can provide support for him as well, and for your family as a whole.
I think we really need some help in navigating that for both of us, for our own needs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's really brave to ask for help, and I think you're going to do really great.
Thank you for that.
Did we do it?